Camping inventions that are insanely cool. How modern engineering is redefining life outdoors. There was a time when camping meant little more than a canvas tent, a crackling fire, and the quiet acceptance of discomfort. You packed light, expected inconvenience, and considered hardship part of the adventure. But somewhere between necessity and imagination, camping changed. Not suddenly, not loudly but deliberately, through innovation. Over the past decade, outdoor gear has undergone a silent revolution. Engineers, designers, survivalists, and explorers began asking a different question: what if being deep in nature didn't mean giving up safety, efficiency, or comfort? The result is a new generation of camping inventions that feel less like accessories and more like systems, self-contained, intelligent, and astonishingly capable. These are not gimmicks. They are tools built for real conditions: harsh weather, remote terrain, limited resources, and long-term independence. From off-road expedition trailers that function like mobile apartments, to stoves that generate electricity from fire, to shelters inspired by aerospace engineering, modern camping gear blurs the line between wilderness survival and advanced living. This series is not just a list of products. It is a guided exploration of how these inventions work, why they exist, and what they mean for the future of outdoor life. Whether you are a casual viewer, a serious camper, or a technical expert, each section is designed to be engaging, accurate, and easy to follow, written specifically so it can be read aloud or recorded as professional audio content. What follows are 13 parts, each uncovering a different layer of innovation. And once you begin, you may find yourself wondering whether the wild has truly become more civilized or if we've simply learned how to adapt better than ever before. The rise of expedition-grade camping. Camping was once defined by minimalism. You carried only what you could lift, relied on nature for most needs, and accepted limitations as part of the experience. Expedition-grade camping, however, represents a fundamental shift in philosophy. Instead of adapting yourself entirely to the environment, modern equipment adapts to you, while still respecting the challenges of remote terrain. From weekend camping to long-duration expeditions, traditional camping equipment was designed for short stays. A tent, a sleeping bag, a stove enough to survive a few nights. Expedition-grade gear, by contrast, is built for weeks or months away from civilization. The goal is not merely survival, but sustainability. This change was driven by several factors. First, exploration itself changed. Overlanding, remote travel, and off-grid living became more popular. Second, material science advanced. Lightweight composites, sealed electronics, and efficient energy systems made it possible to carry more capability without exponential weight increases. Third, consumer expectations evolved. People no longer wanted to choose between comfort and adventure. Nowhere is this evolution more visible than in modern off-road expedition trailers. The off-road expedition trailer, a mobile survival platform. At first glance, an expedition trailer may look like a compact armored shell on wheels. But that shell hides an integrated ecosystem designed to operate independently of external support. Built on reinforced steel chassis, these trailers are engineered to endure vibration, impact, and torsion over extreme terrain. The composite shells are not cosmetic, they are sealed against dust, water, and temperature fluctuations. This matters when traveling through deserts, mountains, or snow-heavy regions where environmental exposure can quickly damage standard RV structures. Suspension systems are another defining feature. Air suspension with long-wheel travel allows the trailer to move dynamically with uneven ground, reducing stress on both the frame and towing vehicle. Paired with large alloy wheels and aggressive mud-terrain tires, the trailer becomes capable of following a 4x4 vehicle into areas once inaccessible to anything with living quarters. 2 variants, 1 philosophy. Many expedition trailers are offered in multiple configurations. A lower profile version prioritizes stability and reduced weight, while a taller variant offers increased interior volume and storage. Despite these differences, both adhere to the same principle: maximum capability with minimal dependency. Disc brakes on all wheels ensure controlled stopping power, even when descending steep grades with a fully loaded trailer. Recovery points and winch mounting areas acknowledge a simple truth: if you travel far enough off-road, self-recovery becomes essential. Utilities that enable true independence. What truly separates expedition trailers from conventional campers is their self-contained utility systems. Fresh water tanks exceeding 50 gallons allow for extended stays without resupply. Gray water tanks manage waste responsibly. Integrated hot and cold water systems support showers, cooking, and sanitation, improving hygiene and morale during long trips. Electrical systems are equally advanced. Battery banks reaching up to 600 amp-hours store enough energy to power lighting, refrigeration, climate control, and electronics. High-output inverters convert stored DC power into household AC electricity, enabling the use of standard appliances. Optional solar arrays extend this capability indefinitely under favorable conditions. This is not luxury for its own sake. In remote environments, energy and water are not conveniences, they are safety systems. Interior design: efficiency over excess. Inside an expedition trailer, every inch is purposeful. Sleeping arrangements often center around a queen-sized bed, comparable to what one would expect in a stationary home. Convertible seating expands capacity without increasing footprint. Climate control systems: air conditioning, heating, ventilation are not indulgences. In extreme heat or cold, maintaining a stable internal environment prevents fatigue and health risks. Touchscreen control panels consolidate power management, water levels, and system diagnostics into a single interface, reducing cognitive load during travel. Storage solutions are modular and secure, designed to prevent shifting during movement while keeping essential gear accessible. Cooking as a system, not an afterthought. Food preparation in expedition-grade camping is treated as a system rather than a single appliance. Internal kitchens are supplemented by slide-out exterior modules. Refrigeration units capable of freezing and cooling ensure food safety over long durations. Stainless steel sinks with filtered water outlets address hygiene and health concerns, while dual-access layouts allow cooking both inside and outside depending on weather conditions. This flexibility matters when storms, insects, or temperature extremes make outdoor cooking impractical. Cost and value in context. With prices starting around $140,000, expedition trailers are undeniably expensive. However, evaluating them purely on cost misses the broader context. These are not recreational accessories. They are mobile infrastructure. For explorers, filmmakers, scientists, or full-time overlanders, such a trailer replaces hotels, rental vehicles, and repeated logistics costs. More importantly, it expands the range of what is possible. Places that once required temporary camps or risky exposure become viable long-term locations. A shift in how we think about the outdoors. Expedition-grade camping does not eliminate challenge, it redefines it. Instead of battling discomfort, adventurers focus on navigation, exploration, documentation, and experience. Technology does not remove nature's power, it allows humans to coexist with it more intelligently. This philosophy sets the foundation for everything that follows in the series. As we move forward, we will explore how fire becomes power, how sunlight becomes infrastructure, and how centuries-old survival concepts are re-engineered for the modern world. The rise of expedition-grade camping, when the wild meets intelligent design. Camping used to be an agreement with discomfort. You accepted the cold nights, the limited food options, the constant improvisation, because that was the price of being close to nature. But somewhere along the road, quite literally, on dirt tracks, mountain passes, and remote deserts, that agreement changed. Modern camping is no longer just about enduring the outdoors. It is about coexisting with it intelligently. Expedition-grade camping represents a philosophical shift. It asks a different question than traditional camping ever did. Instead of how little can I survive with, it asks, how self-sufficient can I become without losing mobility? That question has quietly reshaped outdoor technology over the last decade, giving rise to equipment that feels less like camping gear and more like portable infrastructure. From campsites to expeditions. To understand expedition-grade camping, you first have to understand how outdoor travel itself has evolved. Classic camping was static. You drove to a campsite, pitched a tent, stayed put, and returned home. Expedition camping is dynamic. It assumes movement, unpredictability, and distance from services. This shift mirrors changes in how people explore today. Overlanding, remote filming, scientific fieldwork, and long-term off-grid travel have become more common. People are no longer content to stay within reach of paved roads or camp hosts. They want to push deeper into places where fuel stations, power outlets, and running water simply do not exist. When you go far enough off the map, comfort becomes a safety feature. Fatigue, dehydration, exposure, and poor nutrition are not inconveniences, they are risks. Expedition-grade gear exists because the outdoors stopped being a weekend hobby and started becoming a sustained way of life for many travelers. The expedition trailer, a moving base camp. At the center of this movement sits one of the most impressive symbols of modern camping evolution, the off-road expedition trailer. At first glance, it can look almost excessive. Heavy steel chassis, thick composite shells, massive tires, air suspension, disc brakes on all wheels. But none of this is cosmetic. Every design choice is rooted in one idea: reliability in isolation. These trailers are not meant for campgrounds. They are designed for washboard roads, rock crawling, steep descents, and long stretches where failure is not an option. The reinforced steel frame absorbs torsional stress that would twist lesser trailers apart. The sealed composite shell keeps dust, water, and temperature extremes outside, protecting both occupants and onboard systems. Two common configurations usually exist: a lower, lighter version optimized for stability and efficiency, and a taller, heavier version offering more interior volume. The difference is not about luxury, it is about choosing the right balance between mobility and living space based on mission requirements. Suspension, recovery, and the reality of going off-road. One of the most telling features of expedition-grade trailers is what they assume will happen: things will go wrong. Air suspension systems allow long-wheel travel, meaning the trailer can articulate over uneven terrain without transferring destructive forces into the frame. Large alloy wheels with aggressive mud-terrain tires improve traction in sand, mud, and snow. Disc brakes provide consistent stopping power, even under load and on steep gradients. Recovery points and winch mounting spaces are not optional extras. They are acknowledgements of reality. When you travel far enough off-road, self-reliance stops being a slogan and becomes a requirement. Self-contained utilities, the hidden backbone. Where expedition trailers truly separate themselves from recreational campers is in their utility systems. This is where the philosophy of independence becomes tangible. Freshwater tanks holding more than 50 gallons allow extended stays without resupply. Gray water systems handle waste responsibly. Integrated hot and cold water setups support showers, cooking, and sanitation, critical not just for comfort, but for health during long journeys. Power systems are equally serious. Battery banks reaching up to 600 amp-hours store enough energy to run lighting, refrigeration, climate control, and electronics. High-capacity inverters convert that stored energy into household-grade AC power. Solar panels, sometimes approaching 800 watts, turn sunlight into a daily energy source. This is not about convenience. In remote environments, energy equals communication, navigation, food preservation, and climate control. Losing power is not annoying, it is dangerous. Interior spaces that think for you. Step inside an expedition trailer and you notice something subtle. Nothing is wasted. Every surface has a job. Every compartment exists for a reason. Sleeping arrangements are often centered around a full queen-size bed, not because size matters, but because rest does. Extended travel demands real recovery, not cramped survival sleep. Seating areas convert into bunks, allowing flexible occupancy without expanding the trailer footprint. Climate control systems, heating, air conditioning, ventilation are integrated because exposure is cumulative. A touchscreen control panel centralizes system management, reducing complexity and mental load. When you are navigating remote terrain, the last thing you want is a dozen separate systems demanding attention. Cooking as logistics, not recreation. Food is another area where expedition-grade thinking becomes clear. Cooking is treated as logistics, not entertainment. Internal kitchens ensure meals can be prepared in bad weather. Slide-out exterior modules allow outdoor cooking when conditions are favorable. Refrigeration systems that both cool and freeze preserve food for long durations. Stainless steel sinks with filtered water protect against contamination. This dual-mode approach acknowledges a simple truth: nature does not care about your cooking plans. Flexibility is survival. Weight, cost, and the price of independence. There is no avoiding the numbers. Expedition trailers often start around $140,000 and climb from there. They weigh over 2 tons before cargo. On paper, that can seem absurd. But expedition-grade equipment cannot be evaluated like consumer camping gear. These systems replace hotels, rental vehicles, power stations, water logistics, and repeated resupply trips. More importantly, they buy range, the ability to go farther, stay longer, and operate safely where infrastructure ends. For filmmakers, researchers, explorers, and full-time overlanders, these trailers are not luxury items. They are tools of access. A cultural shift in outdoor philosophy. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of expedition-grade camping is not the technology itself, but what it says about how humans now approach nature. This is not about conquering the wild, nor about romantic suffering. It is about respect through preparation. Modern campers are not trying to dominate their environment, they are trying to minimize their footprint while maximizing their resilience. Technology, in this context, is not a barrier between people and nature. It is a translator allowing humans to exist longer, safer, and more thoughtfully in places that were once fleeting experiences. Why Part 1 matters. Part 1 sets the foundation for everything that follows. Expedition-grade camping is the backbone of modern outdoor innovation. It explains why stoves now generate electricity, why tents deploy in seconds, and why solar panels fold like origami. Once you accept the idea that camping can be intelligent, mobile, and self-sufficient, every invention that follows starts to make sense. In the next part, we will move closer to the flame itself, exploring how fire, fuel, and energy are being reimagined for a world where even heat can power your devices. Fire, fuel, and power reinvented, turning primitive energy into intelligent systems. Fire is one of humanity's oldest technologies. Long before cities, electricity, or engines, fire gave us warmth, protection, and the ability to transform raw food into something nourishing. For thousands of years, its role barely changed. You gathered fuel, sparked a flame, and managed it carefully. What has changed dramatically is what we now expect fire to do for us. In modern camping, fire is no longer just about heat or cooking. It has become an energy source, a charging station, a controlled system, and in some cases, a replacement for batteries and fuel canisters. Expedition-grade thinking has pushed designers to ask a deceptively simple question: can one flame do more than one job? The answer, it turns out, is yes. The philosophy of energy in the wild. In the wilderness, energy is currency. Every watt matters. Every ounce of fuel has a cost. Traditional camping treats fire, electricity, and lighting as separate systems. You carry a stove for cooking, batteries for devices, lanterns for light, and maybe solar panels for recharging. Modern innovation challenges that separation. The new philosophy is convergence. If you are already carrying fire for warmth or cooking, why not extract something more from it? If you are already producing heat, why waste it entirely into the air? This thinking has given rise to a new class of camping tools that blur the line between ancient survival methods and advanced engineering. The Biolite stove, when fire learns to charge. Few products embody this shift better than the Biolite stove. At first glance, it looks like a small wood-burning stove, compact, cylindrical, almost modest. But its real magic is hidden inside. The idea behind the Biolite is both elegant and ambitious. Burn biomass efficiently, capture excess heat, and convert that heat into electricity. Not theoretically, but practically, in the field, using nothing more than twigs and fire. When dry sticks or pellets are placed into the chamber and ignited, an internal temperature probe senses the rising heat. That signal activates a built-in fan, which injects controlled airflow directly into the burn chamber. The result is a vortex-like combustion that burns hotter and cleaner than an open fire, producing noticeably less smoke. This is not just about aesthetics. Cleaner combustion means more complete fuel use and higher efficiency, critical when fuel must be gathered by hand. Thermoelectric power, old science, new purpose. Once the flame stabilizes, the stove's defining feature comes into play, a thermoelectric generator. This component converts part of the fire's heat into electrical energy using temperature differences across a specialized material. The electricity first powers the internal fan, making the system self-sustaining. Any excess energy is stored in an internal 3200 mAh battery. From there, power flows to a USB port capable of delivering up to 3 watts at 5 volts, enough to charge phones, GPS units, headlamps, or small cameras. This changes the relationship between fire and technology. Fire no longer ends when the cooking stops. Because the battery stores energy, the fan and charging function can continue even after the flame dies down. A small LED dashboard displays fire intensity, fan level, and battery status. This transforms fire management from instinct into feedback-driven control. Why this matters beyond novelty? It would be easy to dismiss fire-powered charging as a gimmick. But in remote environments, redundancy is survival. Solar panels depend on sunlight. Batteries deplete. Fuel canisters run out. A stove that runs on twigs and produces electricity introduces a fundamentally different energy pathway. You are no longer carrying all your energy with you. You are harvesting it from the environment sustainably and repeatedly. Portable fire without the chaos. Not all fire innovation is about electricity. Some inventions focus on control, making fire safer, cleaner, and more predictable. Traditional campfires are beautiful, but they come with trade-offs: smoke, embers, sparks, and restrictions in fire-sensitive areas. This has driven interest in contained fire systems that offer atmosphere and warmth without the risks of open flames. Portable campfire tins exemplify this approach. These small metal containers hold a blend of recycled soy wax and paper briquettes. The fuel lights easily, burns evenly, and stays entirely within the container. There are no drifting embers, almost no soot, and minimal smoke. The flame can be extinguished instantly by sliding a lid across the top, cutting off oxygen. This transforms fire from a commitment into a controllable tool, something you can turn on and off rather than manage constantly. Fire as atmosphere, not infrastructure. These compact fire systems are not designed to replace traditional campfires. They serve a different purpose. They create warmth and ambience in environments where open fires are impractical, restricted, or unsafe. For urban campers, overlanders, or travelers passing through fire-restricted zones, this kind of controlled flame offers a compromise, maintaining the emotional comfort of fire without the environmental risk. Ignition without fuel, the role of fire starters. Of course, none of this matters if you cannot start a fire reliably. Modern fire starters reflect the same expedition-grade philosophy: simplicity, durability, and independence. Fuel-free fire starter tools combine ferrocerium rods, precision steel strikers, and wax-infused hemp wicks into a single unit. The wick ignites easily, burns steadily, and can be adjusted in length to control flame size. Because the system does not rely on liquid fuel or pressurized gas, it works in wet or windy conditions. This kind of tool is not flashy. It is not meant to be. Its value lies in predictability. When conditions are bad and margins are thin, reliability matters more than innovation. The evolution of fuel itself. Fuel has also become more flexible. Modern stoves increasingly support multiple fuel types: twigs, pellets, alcohol, solid fuel tablets, and even small gas burners. This adaptability is a response to real-world constraints. Carrying dedicated fuel canisters adds weight and dependency. Being able to gather fuel on-site or switch between sources reduces risk. It also aligns with a broader trend toward environmental awareness, using fallen wood or renewable biomass instead of disposable canisters. Efficiency as a survival strategy. Efficiency is not just about saving fuel. It is about conserving attention and energy. Stoves with secondary combustion systems burn unspent gases before they escape, producing more heat from the same fuel while reducing smoke. This cleaner burn has cascading benefits. Less smoke means less irritation, fewer insects attracted to camp, and less visibility in sensitive areas. More heat means faster cooking and less fuel gathering. Efficiency, in this sense, is not optimization, it is risk reduction. Fire, control, and human psychology. There is also a psychological dimension to modern fire systems. Fire has always been emotional. It represents safety, continuity, and human presence in wild spaces. When fire becomes cleaner, quieter, and more controllable, it changes how people experience the outdoors. You are no longer constantly tending a flame. You are managing a system. That mental shift frees attention for conversation, navigation, or simple observation. Why fire still matters in a solar world. With solar panels, power stations, and lithium batteries becoming more common, it might seem that fire-based energy is becoming obsolete. In reality, the opposite is true. Solar depends on weather and daylight. Batteries depend on stored capacity. Fire depends on availability of biomass, something that exists in many environments where sunlight or infrastructure does not. In expedition-grade systems, diversity of energy sources is strength. Fire-powered electricity does not replace solar, it complements it. Each system covers the other's weaknesses. The bigger picture. Part 2 is about more than stoves or flames. It is about reclaiming one of humanity's oldest tools and giving it new purpose. Fire is no longer just a reaction, it is a resource. As we move forward in this series, we will see this pattern repeat. Old ideas re-engineered. Simple concepts layered with intelligence. Nature and technology not in opposition, but in conversation. In part 3, that conversation continues in the kitchen, where outdoor cooking evolves from survival meals to fully realized systems that rival home kitchens, even when the nearest road is days away. Cooking without compromise, how the outdoor kitchen became a system. Food has always been more than fuel. Around a campfire, it becomes ritual, comfort, memory. For most of human history, cooking outdoors was about necessity: heat something, eat it quickly, move on. But modern camping has changed the role of food in the wild. Today, outdoor cooking is no longer just about survival, it is about continuity. The question is no longer can we cook out here? But how close can the experience be to home without losing the spirit of the outdoors? The answer lies in a new way of thinking, cooking not as a single device, but as a system. The evolution from camp stove to outdoor kitchen. Traditional camp cooking centered around minimalism. A small stove, one pot, maybe a pan if you were ambitious. Meals were simple because they had to be. Weight, fuel, and clean up all imposed limits. Modern expedition-grade cooking challenges those limits. It recognizes that when trips stretch from days into weeks, food becomes central to morale, health, and efficiency. Eating well is no longer a luxury, it is a stabilizing force. This realization has driven the emergence of modular, vehicle-mounted, and hitch-mounted cooking systems that treat food preparation with the same seriousness as navigation or shelter. Cooking where the vehicle stops, the hitch-mounted grill. One of the most telling innovations in this space is the hitch-mounted grill. Its brilliance lies not in complexity, but in placement. Instead of unpacking gear, assembling stands, or clearing space, the grill lives on the outside of the vehicle, always ready. When the vehicle stops, the kitchen arrives instantly. Mounted on a standard 2-inch receiver, these grills swing out on articulated arms 90 or even 180 degrees, keeping tailgates and rear hatches accessible. This small design choice reflects deep understanding of campsite behavior. Cooking should not block access to food, gear, or seating. With cooking surfaces large enough to handle meals for 8 to 10 people and twin burners distributing heat evenly, these grills transform roadside stops into full cooking sessions. Fold-out side tables provide prep space, while push-button ignition reduces setup time to seconds. Cooking here is social. You are not hunched over a tiny burner. You are standing, talking, moving, participating. Detachability and flexibility. The hitch-mounted format also acknowledges that camps evolve. When the grill needs to move away from the vehicle closer to seating or sheltered from wind, it detaches and stands on integrated legs, becoming a tabletop cooker. This adaptability reflects a broader design philosophy: systems should move with the user, not force the user to move around them. Refrigeration, the silent backbone of modern cooking. Cooking systems only work if ingredients remain safe. Refrigeration has quietly become one of the most important innovations in outdoor food systems. Modern slide-out fridge freezers offer precise temperature control, allowing users to store fresh produce, meat, dairy, and frozen goods for extended periods. Dual-zone units separate freezing and cooling functions, turning food storage into a controlled environment rather than a gamble. This changes menu planning entirely. You are no longer constrained to dry goods or canned meals. You can plan balanced, varied diets even in remote locations. Refrigeration also reduces waste. Food lasts longer. Resupply intervals stretch. The overall logistics of a trip become simpler and safer. Water as a cooking ingredient, not a risk. Water management is inseparable from cooking. Modern outdoor kitchens integrate filtered water systems directly into sinks and taps, ensuring that water used for cooking and cleaning meets safe standards. Hot and cold water availability may seem indulgent until you experience long-term travel. Hot water speeds cleanup, improves sanitation, and reduces the mental friction that builds when every task feels difficult. In expedition systems, water is not just stored, it is managed. Tanks track usage. Pumps deliver consistent pressure. Filters remove uncertainty. The rise of the portable espresso ritual. Few things illustrate the psychological evolution of outdoor cooking better than portable espresso machines. Coffee has always been part of camping, but it used to be compromise coffee instant mixes or rough brews. Hand-powered espresso machines represent a shift in mindset. They do not chase convenience. They chase quality. By building pressure manually up to 18 bars, these compact devices extract real espresso using nothing more than hot water and fine grounds. No electricity. No batteries. Just mechanical effort and design precision. This matters because rituals matter. In remote environments, familiar routines anchor the mind. A proper cup of coffee in the middle of nowhere is not about caffeine, it is about normalcy. Heat distribution and control. Cooking well requires control. Modern outdoor cooking systems prioritize even heat distribution and adjustable output. Twin-burner grills allow simultaneous cooking at different temperatures. Secondary combustion stoves burn gases that would otherwise escape, increasing efficiency and reducing smoke. Adjustable airflow systems let users tune flames precisely rather than guessing. This control reduces frustration. Food cooks predictably. Meals become reliable. Cooking shifts from survival to expression. Compact systems for lightweight travel. Not all outdoor kitchens are vehicle mounted. For those traveling light, compact multi-fuel stoves offer remarkable versatility. These systems use double-stage combustion to extract more energy from less fuel. Twigs, pellets, solid fuel tablets, alcohol burners, and even gas can be used interchangeably. This flexibility is not about choice, it is about resilience. If one fuel source is unavailable, another works. If conditions change, the system adapts. Lightweight does not mean limited. Cooking as environmental awareness. Modern cooking systems also reflect increased environmental awareness. Cleaner burns reduce particulate emissions. Biomass fuel reduces reliance on disposable canisters. Controlled flames minimize wildfire risk. Cooking technology now considers not just user needs, but environmental impact. This aligns with a broader shift in outdoor culture toward responsibility rather than conquest. Social space and design. Outdoor kitchens shape how people gather. When cooking is accessible, visible, and comfortable, it becomes a focal point rather than a chore. Hitch-mounted grills create communal zones. Slide-out kitchens open toward campsites. Lighting systems illuminate prep areas without blinding the surroundings. Design influences behavior. Modern cooking systems encourage shared meals, conversation, and connection, things that have always been central to human outdoor experience. Efficiency beyond fuel. Efficiency in outdoor cooking extends beyond fuel consumption. It includes time, effort, and mental energy. Quick setup means less frustration. Reliable ignition reduces stress.